More tequila! Wow, there's even more tequila!
There's something about this girl, man, from around my way.
Hey friend, welcome back to my channel, and let's get back to this cruise. So this is day 3 of my sister's birthday cruise. Of course, we went to Catalina Island on the last video, and now we are finally in Ensenada, Mexico. We booked the Taste of Mexico and Margarita Madness excursion, and once we actually docked in Ensenada, we had to get on this bus to actually drive out to where the tasting would actually be. It was about a 30 to 45 minute drive out to the actual resort where we had the tastings, and the view was beautiful. It was definitely a different side of Mexico than I thought I would necessarily see. And our tour guide did a really great job of just giving us different fun facts and just kind of like little known facts about Ensenada as well. Here we are pulling up to the actual resort, and we were greeted by a couple of local vendors with different tables selling jewelry and a couple things to take home. Now this is where the actual experience started. So that's our tour guide and also Chef Sahid. Hey Sahid, who was a great instructor. When we sat down, everything was already set up for us, a cutting board and a couple different utensils, and then we got started. Now, growing up in Southern California, I am no stranger to Mexican food, but there was something really different and unique about having a Mexican cooking class actually in Mexico. I already just enjoy cooking, so I was having a great time, and everything was so fresh. Here we are cooking a little bit of guacamole. Now on the table, they already had a couple things prepared for us. So they had those tortilla chips, a little bit of salsa. Of course, we had to pour up some margaritas, and then a couple other containers for things that we needed for our next dishes that we were making. And anytime there's margaritas, of course, you're gonna get a couple giggles. So here we are preparing to make our next dish. They also brought out a local artist to tell us a little bit more about Ensenada and their local culture too.
Over here for you guys, just to show you something, right? That's right.
So family, how are you?
So after a bit more talking and a bit more cooking, we were finally able to taste our food, and it was so good, y'all. Again, something about eating Mexican food in Mexico just hits different. I also love that they had non-meat options. I'm pescatarian, so I was a little bit nervous about that going into it, but I just let them know once we got there, and they were super accommodating and made me feel super comfortable. All in all, I loved this excursion. It was super fun to have just the overall cooking class, and the resort itself was super pretty. I mean, we were literally surrounded by mountains and vineyards, and really got a chance just to kind of relax and take everything all in after the class. After class, we headed back over to the vendors' tables to take another look at what they were selling, and we even got to take a couple of pictures with Chef Sahid, who we were both big fans of. All right, so what do you think? We just did our, what was it? Taste of Mexico?
Taste of Mexico.
How'd you think? How'd you like it?
Tasting. It was great. We had
Lots of fun.
what's his name? Issachar Saeed. Chef Saeed. He fine as hell, ladies. Find him.
So loud.
He over there if you want to see him. We'll show him to you later. Very nice.
We did great. We had lots of fun.
Great margaritas.
Okay. We're gonna stop this here. And then before you knew it, it was time that we had to head back onto the bus, back into the city for the next part of our excursion. Now, the next part of the excursion, this was the fun part, the actual tequila tasting. So when we got there, our bus was already running late, so they wasted no time pouring up that first shot before we even got started. But this class was super informative. Of course, they gave us some backgrounds on tequila, tequila's history in Mexico, and the different types of tequila too. Salud! Salud!
Anything else? The name is out. Free man. Does the strongest water you can feel?
And I learned a lot in this class. Like, I didn't even know there was a specific way you're supposed to take shots of tequila. So that was him trying to teach us that there. So we are 3 shots in. How do you feel? Great. Feeling great. We have 3 shots to go. How do you feel? Feeling great. In between the tequila tastings, they did bring out this different flavored honey for us to try that they actually make in-house as well. And again, so good, so fresh. And see, this is why you always want to know a little bit of the language of a country that you're going to, because again, growing up in Southern California, I know a few Spanish words here and there. And before we were toasting, he was trying to get us to say some things.
Estiro la mano. Estiro la mano. Inclino el codo. Inclino el codo. Aplico el culo. Y me chingo todo. That's it. That's my heart. So I might have a twist my ass and fucking freak out.
And of course, the little cheeky toasts were all in good fun. But listen, I want to know what I'm saying before I'm saying it. So know a couple words before you go. And you see here, I kind of hesitated to take the shot. He actually ended up telling us that this was a sipping tequila instead of just like a shooting or a shot tequila. So I kind of messed up there a little bit. And let me tell you, this one was strong. And I do not like sipping on strong drinks. I'd rather just take them as a shot.
You said sip it after you already pounded it. So.
I know, kind of.
Stronger. Does you have burning sensation?
It doesn't burn though. It's not burning like burn your throat. It burns for sure more. But it's smooth.
And that right there is definitely something that surprised me the most about this tequila because, again, I'm not the biggest tequila fan, but this was so smooth. I usually don't like it because it burns, but this one, for some reason, at least for me, didn't burn at all. And I don't know, I'm definitely a tequila fan now. As you can see, they were not shy with the shots. They even gave us a shot before we left, a shot for the road. And then we were able to kind of walk around the actual building a little bit and see some more of the history of tequila in Ensenada. My sister ended up getting a couple of bottles of tequila to take home with her, and then we kind of walked around and saw what else they had around the distillery. So this distillery, again, made a bunch of different products. They had everything from spices to chocolate. They had those honeys that we tasted and a bunch of different flavors of those. They actually also had wine from a winery that they made. They had a little bit of everything here. Now, if you know me, you know I kind of like to explore and see the unseen. So around the corner from where we actually were, it actually looked like there was almost like a more informal kind of like display almost of how tequila is actually being made, the different barrels and things like that. Now, again, I don't know if I was supposed to be back here, but you know, it's really cool to kind of see everything, the different barrels, and just see like the actual process of how the alcohol is made. Again, this is after 6, 7, maybe even 8 shots, so don't tell nobody I was back there. And after a while, it was time to head back to the bus to take us back to the dock. And again, we are deep in the tequila at this point, so there were definitely giggles, and baby, we made friends and all.
Your grandmama's Kelly in the house. I can't hear you, Brenda.
I'm giving you the Buster rubber.
Yay, Brenda.
Brenda, 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 Brenda. And I don't even remember why we were cheering for that lady, but Brenda, you did a good job, girl. It had been a long day, so we ended up heading back to our room, taking a nap, and then once we got up, we ended up just exploring the rest of the ship for the rest of our time. The best part about cruise ships to me is that there's just so many different things to see, so many things to explore, people to meet, all of it. Later that night, we ended up going to a comedy show, and forgive me, but I do not remember his name, but he was funny. He did good. He did real good. At this point, we kind of just relaxed for the rest of the night. I think we ended up getting some food and maybe a drink or two again, and then we went to bed because it had been a long 3 days. Before you knew it, we were back docked in Long Beach and getting ready to head back home. Overall, I had a great time on this cruise. I know my sister had a great time too, bringing in her birthday, and it's just always so great to be able to spend time with her and going to different places, exploring things, and having different experiences. So before you know it, again, we were back in that airport, back heading to Vegas. Now, if you're watching this and you've never been on a cruise, let this be your sign to go on one. Even if it's only a 3-day cruise like the one we went on, trust me, it's worth it and you'll have a great time. I promise you won't regret it. Cruises are one of the easiest ways to see new places, explore new things, and have a great time. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.
There's something about this girl, man.